The start of this video was supposed to be filled with really cool stuff. We were going to be taking you to see the Wallace Memorial, which anyone that's seen the movie Braveheart will immediately know who we're talking about. The freedom guy. But anyway, we have discovered we have a battery charging issue. Something is wrong with our second alternator. We did not know it for maybe a day or maybe 2 days that thing hasn't been charging. And we had a little power shut off this morning, and that kind of alerted us to something being very, very wrong. So it's late in the day, but we, instead of wild camping tonight, we are trying to find a campsite that has electrical outlets that we can plug into and at least be able to run our 110. It's overcast and we're in Scotland approaching the winter time, so solar is not going to carry us.
In a quarter mile at the roundabout, continue.
So we got to regroup.
Road,
Let's hope this campsite we found has availability, because we're also in a time of the year where campsites are starting to close for the winter. So the ones that are open are full.
Yeah, and then we need to find an alternator repair shop to check out the alternator. We've had problems with the alternator before, and well, we don't know what's wrong. We'll have to figure it out.
Curt's remaining calm. I'm trying not to panic. Curt seems like he's remaining calm. But guys, this is a big deal. Anytime the power source issues happen in a van and it's your full-time house, alright, we gotta figure out what's going on. Our first campsite option is in the town, or just north of the town city of Perth, which would be a good location because it should be a big enough city to have the kind of stuff we need. One, to be able to get parts shipped in if that's what we need, and hopefully some sort of alternator repair shop to help us figure out what's going on. So y'all cross your fingers that this first campsite has some availability. Whew. Alright, we have made it to the campsite. Curt is going to go in and see if they have a spot available that has power. Y'all cross your fingers. It's getting late in the day. Alright, good news. We got a spot for the night so we can at least plug in and not be worried about running the batteries all the way down, which would hurt them, and we can regroup. So in our van, we run on two different kinds of, what's it called, you think? Current? 110, which is what you have in your house, and 12 volt, which is what most people have in their cars. So when we plug in, everything on our 110 runs directly from the campsite and isn't coming off of our batteries at all. But the 12 volt still pulls from the batteries. So that's little things like our lights, charging our phone, and starting our heater, our diesel heater. We cannot get that started without having enough 12 volt power coming into the van. Am I right, Curt?
Yeah. And so we're getting a little bit of solar right now. It's enough to charge stuff, but not enough to cook with.
Yeah.
So,
well, and our refrigerator also runs off of 12 volt. So it's really good that the sun is shining to get us a little power. But we are, as Curt said, limped up. The kiddies are looking at us wondering why we won't open the door. And well, it's because we can't start the heater in the van and it is cold outside. Now Curt is already on it doing some research, trying to find an alternator place. So we're going to make the best of it, try to get comfortable. They've got good Wi-Fi. Maybe we can upload some videos. Vanna, what do you think, Pumpkin? This isn't so good, is it? No. We'll get it figured out. One more thing I want to tell you guys. This happened to us before. I think Curt's already mentioned that. We were just coming north out of Patagonia in Chile. And we found this wonderful little old man, this little electrical mechanic guy who did everything in his power to get us up and running. And it was amazing. But it was not an easy process because he didn't speak a lick of English. And the Spanish that we knew didn't have anything to do with electronical engineering alternator stuff. So it was a rough time and it was a stressful time. One thing I'm going to say is a silver lining is this has happened in Scotland where everyone speaks English. So hopefully it won't be quite so hard to figure out what we need. And we're also in a part of the country where if we need to get some, or part of the world where if we need to get something shipped in, we should be able to do that. So our coffee is almost done and then our heads are going to work. Curt jumped right on it. What have you figured out, Curt?
Well, we have an appointment with the alternator guy, and he does have some experience working with one extra alternator case. Guy from, I think, Norway or something, Denmark, came in and was using it for a welder, the second alternator. So in any event, he's going to have a look at it tomorrow. We're going to drive over there. It looks like it's about an hour and a half drive. I told him we'd roll in around 9-ish. We can't leave here before 7, so...
Yeah.
At 7, we'll leave here in the morning, and yeah, we'll get over there and see what's wrong.
It's over towards Glasgow. The guy was really nice on the phone. We have to send him some pictures of the alternator and stuff, so he'll be prepared when we show up. Sounds like he's going to try to squeeze us in to take a look at it tomorrow, and then we'll get a verdict.
Yep, that's how it's going down.
All right, y'all. Curt is on it. That only took him like 20 minutes. Good job, Curtie. Vienna could care less. All right, guys. That's the Northern Lights. We're here in probably about mid-Scotland. And the sky is lighting up. I sure hope it comes through on the pocket where there's reds and some purples and a little bit of green. It is freezing cold out here, but I don't care. Curt's putting on his shoes to come out too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I did see them over there. Wow, they're red.
Oh, they go all the way up there. Look at it. It just keeps going. Wow.
Oh, look at them getting green over here.
Look at that, Curtie. That's so cool. Back here, it's a little purple. Wow. We got an early start this morning. We did not wake up and realize that our electrical problems were just a nightmare. They still exist. So we got an early start. We are headed to Glasgow where we have kind of an appointment with a guy. And we are passing through the town of Stirling. And this is where we were going to take y'all. This is where the Wallace Memorial is, the Freedom
tower
Guy.
is right over there. You can't see it,
But don't worry, we'll return to Scotland next year or the next year, and we'll be able to bring you here. We are bummed, but fixing our house definitely comes first. We're about 30 minutes away from the shop. Y'all cross your fingers, we need some good news today. We did get a pretty sunrise though. Curt has pulled us into the garage, and he's now out there, and I think the guys are underneath checking things out. But you'll see right here, we got a cozy little G-Money. And right there, I don't know if you can see her, but there's a cozy little Vienna. So everyone in the house is just chilling. We're doing our best to not use any of our 12-volt power. So I got these cool new party string lights last time I went home that are charged by USB. So we haven't really shared them with you yet because they're more for camp when we're outside or something, maybe hanging out with friends. But they're giving us a little bit of light without having to use the little bit of power we still have stored in our batteries. But the way they've jumped on this and are diving in and helping us early, it's a good sign. So hopefully we've got a few of the spare parts here with us. Hopefully we can get this thing fixed ourselves. But we'll know soon. We're going to just stay warm in the van because it's cold also, because we can't run our heater. because we need 12 volt to crank it up, and it takes a lot of juice. We're going to just chill in the van. Oh, Vanna decided to stick her little head out. Hi, Pumpkin. It's family day for some of us while Kurt's out there working on our alternator stuff. Alright, it is almost noon. The guys here at Curt, they've been working on the alternator for several hours, and I think we're still no good, right? This is getting worse and worse by the minute. Alright, I was just giving you guys an update. Things are going bad. Okay, we'll be back. Update. We are not going to be able to get it fixed today, but he does think he found the part. Ironically, I think it's the same little part that went bad back in Chile.
It is.
Yeah.
It was corroded. He tried to clean it up. Same thing. It was corroded. He tried to clean it up, and he's going to have to order a new part and take it off and all that stuff. Hopefully he can get the part by Monday and we can get it going. And if that's the case, well, it is what it is, yeah. I guess.
The bad thing is it's a Friday, so we will, it looks like, be staying at a campsite here in Glasgow for the weekend, and hopefully pick up a little solar to charge our 12 volt stuff, mainly for our refrigerator, guys. That's what we got to keep running. Everything else we can do without. And when we're plugged in, all of our 110 stuff will work. So, not the best news. Kurt's doing some research online, working on getting some other stuff to kind of umph up our electrical system. So, it's all right. It's all okay. It's just like if something breaks at your house. This is our house and something breaks, so we have to work through it. Sorry, this episode is not all fun and games, but it's real life, and we always tell you we will bring you the good, the bad, and the in-between. This part's kind of bad. So the last time we saw you guys was 3 days ago. We were sitting at the alternator shop getting the verdict that we had to wait on some parts. So we went straight to a campsite there in Glasgow to kind of regroup and make sure we got everything ordered we needed to get some work done on the van. So we have done that. We have ordered all the necessity parts. They're coming sporadically out over the next couple of weeks to different locations. We even ordered a few little bonus things just to kind of do a little extra work on the van. And we made one big order that isn't going to come for several weeks. And y'all will find out about that when it gets here. But we've got the alternator part coming. We have a new charger coming. So our solar will be, or when we plug in at a campsite, it will be able to charge the 12 volt, the batteries, because we can't do that right now. And we ordered a new heater, a new diesel heater, because ours has been on the fritz. And then we had to order some stuff for the secret thing that's coming in the future. But all that stuff is done. We got some editing done. We literally just relaxed at the Glasgow campsite for 3 days. And then we decided that since we were going to have to wait a little bit longer for the alternator work to get done, that we were going to go ahead and go to our place we had picked out for some glamping. We could not think of a more perfect time to have to go somewhere and just chill out. So we drove about 2 hours from Glasgow west over to a little rural area right on the coast. We're looking out over the water at some islands. We got here probably around lunchtime, and we had pre-scheduled some cool stuff. What is special about this campsite, guys, is first it's at a marina, which is cool. It's always nice to be on the water. But the main attraction is there is a spa here, a legit spa. And today, me and Curt got full body massages and then spent 2 hours soaking in their heated pools, their jacuzzis, and their indoor therapeutic pools, and their hot tubs. I mean, literally just taking care of us time. And it was incredibly relaxing. And we're not done. We're going to go back tomorrow, and we're getting facials. Yes, even Curt is getting a facial. And we're going to spend another 2 hours soaking in those hot waters and those jacuzzis, and it's going to be epic. We feel like Jell-O right now. But when we were walking back to the van and we were thinking about having to cook dinner, we're like, no, we're too relaxed. So we popped into the restaurant here. Curt had a fabulous lamb dish where the lamb comes from like a neighboring island over here, and this cool carrot and some mashed potatoes. His looked delicious. I ordered something that we thought was going to be like a pork pie, like a cheddar potato pork dish. And when it showed up, it was nothing like what we expected. My potatoes were good, my sliced ham was good, but the whole dish was a little bit more like a charcuterie board. I had some cold ham, some boiled eggs, some caramelized onions. It was just kind of a weird mix. Once you started putting it together, it was okay, but it's definitely not something I would order again. But luckily, I had a couple of bites of Curt's, and it was delicious. Curt even tried the local Scotland soda pop, some sort of orange flavored cream soda thing, and I had a little glass of wine just to top off our night. We'll be here again tomorrow. We'll spend one more night here, so tonight and tomorrow night here. We will leave here bright and early Wednesday morning, make the 2-hour drive back to Glasgow, hopefully completely jelloed out and relaxed because we need it, and we will head straight to the alternator shop and be there when he opens because our parts will be there. And you guys, cross your fingers big time that this part fixes our alternator, because whether it does or not, we have to head south towards England for some appointments we have scheduled. I know it has been a weird, crazy episode so far, but that's just what's going on. Van life is not always easy.
All's not well that doesn't end well.
No, guys. It is now Wednesday. We left the spa campground, which was much needed. This morning, we drove in the dark for about 2.5 to 3 hours to get back to our mechanic in Glasgow. We've been here for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours, and the verdict is not good.
So it turns out it seems like it's our Balmer regulator. So the alternator seems to be outputting okay. Check the wiring, everything else seems to be okay, but unfortunately something like this you have to go through all the wiring to figure it out, and that's what we did. But anyway, we're putting the van back together. We're going to get on the road. We have to order a Balmer regulator. We'll put that in when we get it. We should be back in business then.
I'll give y'all an update as to when that's going to be, when we figure out when that will be. But it is a rough spell going on in van life right now. So we're getting on the road. We got to stop and pick up one of our deliveries at a post office here in Glasgow. We have to find a campsite because until we get this thing fixed, we have to be able to plug in each night. So we're going to do that. So no fun going on here, guys, but we're okay. We have a house. Everyone's safe. Can't complain too much. Except for this is starting to get really expensive. We'll be back when we know more.
Woo! We are no longer in Scotland, guys. We drove about 2 hours yesterday afternoon to our camp spot, and well, we're on a single track road now in England trying to get to Stroud to meet up with our friends.
800 feet, turn right.
We had a package that was shipped up here, and well, these roads are narrow, and turns out there's a horse walking right down the middle of this one. But in any event, we're getting close to see Mel and Becky, where we're going to pick up a package. All right, guys.
Is this a road?
This road has just, right now it's a single track road, two-way road, and our mirrors are hitting both sides of the hedgerow. Oh, and we just came upon a car.
Lucky.
Good timing. We're at an intersection so we can work around. There's a pheasant, and we've seen a lot of them. Look at him running right there. Can you guys see that? We've seen about a dozen already of them coming through this area.
We gotta get off this road, though.
But we gotta get off this road, pick up this package, get it to the campsite.
Yeah,
and we got some catching up to do, guys. We gotta catch up with everything.
Yeah. So first of all, last night we drove a lot in the rain on the big interstates over here. I think it's called the M6 or the M8 or M roads. And slept at a truck stop. I'm driving a lot this morning, so the cats are tired. But our part came in a day early, which is good. So we're swinging wide to pick that up from Becky and Mel. All right, so we went in here. I finally got to meet Becky. I didn't get to meet Mel yet. And if y'all follow our journey, y'all might remember them from when Curt was at the place called The Barn doing some work on the van. But we spent probably a little over an hour here just hanging out and chatting. Really, really cool. But we have our new charger right here. Woohoo! I'm ripping into this thing. There we go, guys. It's coming.
It's a Victron
There
shore
it is.
power
All right.
charger.
So this will, when we plug in at a campsite or somewhere, when we plug the electrical outlet into the side of our van, rather than just running some of our electricity, it will also be able to charge our batteries, which is what's broken back there now. So we've got this guy. Hopefully it helps solve half of our electrical problem. But we got to get to our campsite before traffic gets bad, so that's where we're headed. Curt will probably work on trying to install this thing tomorrow. I know it's been hectic, but we're getting there, guys.
All right, guys, good news. I was able to get the heater exchanged out today. I didn't get the power sorted yet.
We need a few more parts.
We need a few more parts. And then for the charger in the back, it didn't come with the cord.
We gotta find a cord.
So, and there's a, I forget, it's like a C13. So anyway, it's a specialty plug you can get. And I got to get that to plug in and to make a cord to plug into my system. So, didn't get everything done, but we did check some boxes.
Yeah.
And I did spend a fair amount of time under the van today changing out the heater.
He did. Well, and it'll be really exciting when that new heater works. But we are at a campsite, and we are basically in the same town where our friends Mel and Becky live. And it is Friday night, and there is a little pub right in front of our campsite. So we're gonna go up here and hang out with some friends, guys. Making the best of everything that's going wrong, right?
Yeah, excited to see these guys. We haven't seen Mel since the barn. We picked up the package from Becky the other day. And yeah, so just excited to say hey to Mel. All right, so we got here early and are scoping out the menu. And I am going to try the ciders. And I've never tried these, but they are alcoholic. And some of them are actually quite strong, I think. But in some regions over here and in France where they don't have grapes, they have the ciders. And so anyway, this is my first time trying this. And then we also have some awesome dinner coming as well. Hey, this is the guy who saved my life. If you guys remember, we had the lug nuts coming off, and he saved me loads of money and possibly my life.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, if you missed the video where I went home last time, this is Mel, this is Becky. We met them, or Curt met them. This is my first time getting to hang out with them. But we're probably gonna just have a good time this evening and give y'all the scoop tomorrow morning on how well it went. And it looks like it may be off to a very nice start.
See you guys tomorrow.
Cheers to the twisted pigs. Cheers to the twisted pigs.
It has been 2.5 weeks of stressful, horrible things breaking down. It's been at least a week since we turned on this camera to talk to you guys. So things are finally starting to turn around, and it's time to catch you guys up.
Yeah, and you know, trying to get things fixed in a foreign country is never as easy as it sounds. We have to get stuff shipped in from all over the place, and that's always a challenge. But we had a charger installed in Brazil for our batteries, and this is a shore power charger, so we can plug the batteries in and charge them into the shore power. Well, guess what, guys? The connectors that go into this specific charger wouldn't fit. It's big cable, right? And they had little holes for it, so it called for special inserts. Well, I had to make something work, which was a big, huge challenge. In addition, it didn't come with the power cord, and the power cord was kind of a specialty cord. Actually, it looked like one of those that plugs into like a computer or something like that. So fortunately, after going around all over, we were able to find one to plug into that. But it was a really important win for us because, as you know, our alternator's not working either. So the only way we have to charge the batteries is either the solar or to plug it in and charge it, and that piece was broken.
But
we got it fixed.
It's fixed, which means what else works?
Well,
our new heater.
Now the heater really was a game changer. I did a lot of research. We got one off of the Amazon, and they do have Amazon here, so that was a pretty reliable delivery. It fit in the same setting as the other one, and it's just better. It's quieter, heats up faster. We had other restart issues on the other one.
It has a remote control, and you can start it from your phone. So on those cold mornings, we can start it before we get out of the bed.
It's way more adjustable.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? I'm going to put a link for this heater, because if you ever get a heater for your van or for your shop or anything like that, there's all sorts of these car heaters on the website. This is the one you want to get.
We like it. And for those of you that do not know, our diesel heater just kind of fits under the passenger seat, and there's some fancy little blowers that come out the back. And that's probably my favorite. Well, no, I'm happy the electrical is working, but this heater is a game changer for us as we're rolling into winter. So we left the town of Stroud, where we hung out with Becky and Mel and got to catch up with them. And we drove, I can't remember, it was like 4 or 5 hours, all the way to the east side, back to Kent. Now, Kent is one of the first places we went when we came to the United Kingdom originally, because it is where I established myself with a cardiologist here. It was time for my 6-month checkup. I went, I got all that done. I did not film any of it. You just need to know that Dr. Mirza is fantastic, and everything's going great. I got some new medications, refilled my prescriptions. It did take a few days, which surprised me, a few days to round up the medications I needed here in the United Kingdom. But we had some spare time anyway, because we were still waiting on that final part to 100% fix our electrical system. And that was a regulator for the alternator?
Yeah, it's called a Balmar regulator. So after spending $300 to troubleshoot it, we learned that there wasn't an issue with our alternator. It's fine. Which we have a backup alternator. Adams from Nations was awesome and made sure we had a backup alternator. We did not have a backup regulator.
We'll fix that.
And so anyway, after all that, we needed to get one. And again, getting parts here is challenging.
Yeah, that one has to come from the United States, pretty much.
Pretty much United States manufacturer. We got that installed, and that basically regulates the charge from the alternator to make sure we don't undercharge, overcharge, charge our batteries too fast. It's basically the brain for the alternator. The alternator is the muscle. And you might say, Curt, you guys have all this solar up top. Why are you talking about all this electric?
It rains.
Again, we're really far north, and it is getting late in the year, so the days are getting shorter. The sun is pretty low, and oh, by the way, it's really cloudy and rainy most of the time.
Yeah. And
so without the alternator or without the ability to plug in, we're stuck like Chuck.
Yeah, we could get by with very, very bare essentials, but that's not how our van is built, and that's not how we want to live van life. It's why we have the electrical system we do. Everything just broke at the same time. But for the non-technical people like me, what you need to know is our electrical system works.
The regulator was pretty easy plug and play, so once we got it, we're good to go. And we're really cruising. We really are happy that we got all these things fixed.
Everything's all fixed. We're all good. And we were sitting here doing all this stuff, waiting on parts, doing my doctor's appointments. So we got one more thing done while we were here, Curt, that we needed.
We need snow tires. And last year we kind of skirted around some areas. This year we're going through Spain and the Pyrenees through, in kind of the winter time. So anyway, we also needed tires. The last ones we got were in like Argentina or Chile, I think. They were pretty worn. And when we went to the tire shop and they took them off, he showed me, and there was like an inside slit where like the layers of the tire had come apart. And so one of our tires was like gonna blow any time.
Any spin around, it was gonna go.
So we got every last bit out of those tires, but we have new tires. They're big and they're rugged and they're beautiful. They're all weather, snow tires, sun tires, mud tires.
They're all the same too, which wasn't the case in Argentina. We had
a mixed match hodgepodge of tires.
But the guys at the tire shop were fantastic.
Amazing.
Some of them watched the channel, so we got a little tiny
Rick,
message
you're
right
awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really appreciate it. You're the best.
here. All right, guys. Everything is fixed. We have medicine. We have all of our parts. We have new tires, which was a plus. In the morning, we are leaving the United Kingdom. It is time to go back to the Schengen zone. We have some cool stuff planned. Parts of France, parts of Spain, parts of Italy, a few big ferry trips planned.
Greece, Turkey, so
Let's
much
go.
stuff coming.
Let's go.
And we're ready now. We got
Yeah.
everything fixed. So, but let me just tell you, it has been a brutal, stressful, expensive process. And you guys probably know we operate on a tight budget, and well, this really hurt.
Yeah.
But that said,
Everything
we're on the
works.
road again.
On the road again. All right, guys. We will see you in a few days on a ferry headed to France. Cheers.
Peace.
If you liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us a lot. And if you want to see more of our videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you know when new videos come out. We'll see you guys in a few days from somewhere out here in the world. Cheers.